To crochet an eye in any color you want, I'll be using these DK yarns and these lace weight yarns, but you can always just use DK yarn or whatever scrap yarn you have for this. For tools, I'm going to use a 3.5mm crochet hook, scissors, and a tapestry needle. And you'll also need some stuffing. We're going to need to make the pupil first, so I'll be using the black DK weight yarn, and you'll need to make a magic ring with 8 single crochets. That's 8 single crochets. Now we can pull on this loose thread to close the ring, and slip stitch into the first stitch to join. Cut your yarn, pull through, and close up the magic ring a little tighter. And bring this thread to the back. We're going to move on to making the eye color, so I'm going to be using this electric blue color. You can use anything you have, and attach it where we left off in a back loop. Go back into that same stitch and chain 2. Now you'll need to make 2 double crochets in every back loop with a total of 16 double crochets. And now slip stitch into the first double crochet to join. That's your eye. You can cut this yarn now. Pull through and bring that to the back. This is what you should have. Moving on to your next color, I'm going to use this lace weight blue color, but you can use DK or any type of scrap yarn you have again. Just cut off a piece that's easy for you to work with and thread it onto your needle. We're going to make lines for the iris to make it look more realistic, so you'll want to go under the V of the double crochet from earlier and then go into the base of that stitch, which would be right here. You can see like that. And in the back loop, we want to work only in the back loop to keep the pupil distinct from the iris. And work your way around, doing that in every stitch. And since I'm using lace weight yarn, I'm actually going to go around 2 times, but if you were using DK, 1 time would be enough. I just finished working my way around, and you can see I did that 2 times since my yarn is kind of thin. Now you can tie off your ends together to keep them from unraveling and trim them to make them a little shorter. Moving on to your third color, I'm using this light blue. Cut off a piece that's easy to work with and thread that onto your needle. We're going to make another round of lines, but instead of coming up right under the V, go about halfway on the double crochet that you made earlier, and then go into the base of that stitch. And do that between each of the lines that you just made. I just finished this round with the light blue, and I only did 1 round since that was DK, and you can see how much more realistic that's starting to look. And just tie off these ends now and trim them. The final step to the iris eye part itself is to add the highlight. So I'm just going to grab a small piece of this white yarn and thread it onto my needle. Come up anywhere from the back into pretty much the stitches that are here. Again, avoiding this top loop. And then just pierce anywhere you want it to go. Then I'm going to come up over here and then go back into the same space. And now I'm going to do that one more time over on this side. That's the highlight. Tie these ends and cut them once again. This is the completed iris, and you can use any color combination that you have to make these. I can show you some examples right now too. This is yellow, green, pink, brown, and my favorite, this black and gray one. So you can see they all look pretty realistic, even though you can use crazy colors like pink or yellow. So you can just make them however you want. Now to make the I3D, I'm going to use 2 strands of lace weight yarn, but you can just use 1 strand of DK. We're going to attach in the back loop of this blue here, and you can attach anywhere. I usually like to attach on the bottom. I'll have my eye like this, so I'll attach right here in the back loop. Go into that same space and bring a loop to the front. Going into the next stitch, make 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochets in the next back loop. And keep following this pattern all the way around this whole iris. So 1 single crochet and then 2 single crochets, keeping that in the back loop only all the way around. Finish off on an increase and then slip stitch into the first single crochet to join, which would be right over here, like this. Chain 1, and I wanted to show you real quick that by stitching in the back loop only, we have a distinct iris like this that is kind of 3D. Now you can turn your work. Turn your work and make a single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet in the second, single crochet in the third, and 2 single crochets in the fourth. And keep following this pattern all the way around. And finish this row with the increase of 2 single crochets and slip stitch into the first stitch to join and chain 1. Turn your work and now make 1 single crochet into every stitch, and we're going to do that for 5 rounds, chaining 1 and turning our work after every round. So I'll meet you once I'm done with that and we'll continue. After making 5 rounds, you should have something like this, and we'll be moving on to decreases. Chain 1, turn your work, single crochet in the first stitch, single crochet in the second, single crochet in the third, and in the fourth stitch you're going to make a single crochet and then go into the next space, bring that to the front and release those 3 loops. So that'll be a decrease right there, and keep pulling that pattern all the way around. And my last decrease for this round. Slip stitch into the first stitch to join, chain 1, turn your work, make a single crochet in the first stitch, and make a decrease in the second stitch. So bring that loop to the front, go into the next stitch, bring the loop to the front, release all 3 loops, and keep following this pattern all the way around. And my last decrease right here. Slip stitch to join, chain 1, and at this point we can go ahead and stuff the eyeball. Here's my stuffing, and just shove it in there. I'm going to do a little more. And a little more. Now put your hook back where you left off. And for this round, we're going to make a decrease in every stitch. The same way I showed you. Just do that in every single one of these all the way around. And I tuck my I put my thumb down here to tuck the stuffing in so it doesn't get in the way for me. And my last decrease right there. If you can slip stitch to join, slip stitch to join. But if not, you can just use your darning needle or tapestry needle to help you with that. Now you can cut your yarn, but leave a long tail since we'll be working with it right now. And pull through. And thread your needle with this. We're going to go into the top loop of every stitch here. And cinch this in to close up your eyeball. And you might have a little hole like this, just go back and forth through these stitches to close it up. To secure this end, go through a stitch nearby, and then go through this loop, and then that will create a little knot here. And then you can go under the single crochets and kind of weave the yarn into the eyeball itself. And here you can cut your yarn, and that is your completed eyeball. This is how I make the eyeball for the eyeball scarf, or you can use these for whatever your imagination tells you. I hope you like this tutorial, and if you have any questions or suggestions, you can leave them in the comments, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!